On the second anniversary of the tragic death of Mahsa Amini at the hands of the Islamic Republic's authorities, shopkeepers and business owners in several Kurdish cities, including Bukan, Saqqez, Mohabad, Divan Dareh, and Sanandaj, shut down their stores in a widespread strike. This strike serves as a powerful act of civil disobedience, highlighting their ongoing resistance against state oppression and standing in solidarity with the memory of Mahsa Amini, whose death sparked nationwide protests and calls for justice. The shutdown is a reminder that the Kurdish regions continue to play a significant role in challenging the regime's policies. During a meeting with Iraqi President Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid, Masoud Pezeshkian, the Islamic president appointed by Ali Khamenei, proposed the elimination of borders between Islamic countries modeled after the European Union. According to a report from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, over 11 million Afghan refugees reside in Iran, with only 2.8 million having legal status. The Fatemiyon Brigade, an arm of the Quds Force, the overseas branch of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, is composed of Afghan immigrants. This group has been directly involved in the killing and suppression of innocent Syrians, as well as the repression of Iranian protesters in recent years. The Biden administration's seemingly weak stance towards the Taliban has encouraged cooperation among regional fundamentalist groups. Pezeshkian's proposal further boosts recruitment efforts for the Quds Force. A deeply moving video shows a young teenager from one of the remote, underserved villages in Sistan and Balochistan living without access to even the most basic necessities. When asked about his dreams, he heartbreakingly responds that he has none. While Iranian children are left without hope or support, the Islamic Republic continues to divert resources to foreign terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, instead of investing in the future of its own people. Mojdeh Fallahi, a newly converted Christian, was arrested by agents of the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence in Shiraz and taken to the Block 100 detention center, located near Adilabad prison. Her arrest occurred when she visited the prosecutor's office to submit documents for the release of a friend who had been detained the day before. The charges against Ms. Fallahi include Christianity and illegal Christian activities, even though she has not been actively involved in Christian work and has worked as a hairdresser. Her family, all of whom are converts to Christianity and victims of religious persecution by the Islamic Republic regime, have been unable to visit her, and she has been denied access to legal representation. Layla Mahdavi, mother of the late Siyavesh Mahmoudi, posted a heartfelt video marking the second anniversary of her son's tragic death. In her post on X, she expressed deep sorrow and unwavering resolve. On the second anniversary of your passing, my child, I will never forget you. Your path and your name are my purpose, and I will carry on for you and your sister, she said. Ali Zareian Shiravanideh, a prominent Iranian nationalist activist and graduate of the University of Tehran, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison by Branch 26 of the Tehran Revolutionary Court. He was initially arrested last November but was released on bail before being rearrested in November. His second arrest followed a public protest at the Tehran Theater City metro station, where he condemned the beating and detention of a woman resisting the compulsory hijab law. After his arrest, Mr. Zareian Shiravanideh was held in solitary confinement and interrogated for 77 days in Ward 209 of Evin Prison, a section notorious for housing political prisoners under the supervision of the Islamic Republic Ministry of Intelligence. He was charged with conspiracy against national security due to alleged collaboration with opposition groups and monarchists. In addition to his 2-year prison sentence, the court imposed a travel ban and prohibited him from participating in political or social organizations. He confided in close friends that during his final interrogation session, the interrogator expressed frustration, saying, "I've gathered so much testimony from you, but you never admitted once that the Pahlavi dynasty is an enemy of Iran." This remark reflects the ongoing tension between the Islamic Republic regime and nationalist figures who align with Iran's pre-revolutionary monarchy. Negar Misaghian, a Baha'i citizen from Shiraz, was arrested on Wednesday, September 18th, and has since been charged at Branch 14 of the Shiraz Public and Revolutionary Prosecutor's Office. Security forces raided her home, arrested her, and transferred her to the Intelligence Detention Center, also known as Plague 100. The agents searched her house, confiscating personal belongings, including her phone, laptop, and passport. Thursday, September 19th, Ms. Misaghian was summoned to court where Judge Khosrovani informed her of charges such as propaganda against the regime. Misaghian's arrest has left her husband and 2-year-old child in a difficult situation. Iraj Noraste, a Baha'i citizen, was arrested at his home on Monday morning, September 16th, by agents from the Intelligence Department of Tabriz. The officers also conducted a search of his residence and confiscated his mobile phone. This arrest occurred just 2 days after Mr. Noraste lost his brother, leaving him in a vulnerable emotional state. Despite his request to delay the arrest until after the funeral, the authorities rejected his plea and took him away. As of now, there is no information regarding the reasons for his arrest or the charges against him. Sina Aghdashi, a Baha'i resident of Tabriz, was recently apprehended by security forces of the Islamic Republic and has been moved to an undisclosed location. During the raid on his home, authorities not only searched the premises but also seized his mobile phone along with the devices belonging to his family members. As of now, there has been no clarity on the reasons behind his arrest or any updates regarding his condition or whereabouts, raising concerns about his safety and the ongoing treatment of religious minorities in Iran. Mona Bakhtiari, the sister of the late Puya Bakhtiari, announced the arrest of her uncle. She posted on X, "At 7 a.m. several intelligence officers stormed the house of my uncle Aryan Shirpishe in Tehran and took him along with all phones and electronic devices from the home," she said. Mona Bakhtiari expressed uncertainty about her uncle's current condition. Previously, the Islamic Republic's forces had arrested other family members, including Manucher Bakhtiari, the father, Nahid Shirpishe, the mother, and Mehrdad Bakhtiari, the uncle of the late Puya Bakhtiari. On Sunday, September 15th, 28-year-old Ronak Tavassolipour from Andimeshk was shot and killed after rejecting a marriage proposal from her suitor. Ms. Tavassolipour had been previously married, but her husband was murdered in a conflict by one of his friends. She had recently met her suitor with the intention of getting married. However, her father opposed their marriage. A year earlier, the suitor had fired shots at her family's home and was subsequently arrested, only to be released on bail. Despite this, his relationship with Ronak continued. The two met at a cafe. The suitor asked Ms. Tavassolipour to elope with him to another city without her father's consent, but she refused. He then attempted to take her phone, but she resisted. After leaving the cafe, the man fired 3 shots at Ms. Tavassolipour's head and body with a handgun, killing her. A 17-year-old girl named Nazanin Baluchi from Chanef, a town in the Negshahr district, was tragically shot and killed by her cousin. The shooting occurred under the guise of honor following her recent divorce from her husband, and it took place in her father's home. Nazanin, who came from a financially struggling family, had been supporting her household from a young age by working on embroidery. Due to the family's dire economic situation, she was married off at the age of around 13 or 14. Her marriage lasted for 3 years and was marked by significant domestic violence and abuse. Despite enduring these hardships, Nazanin eventually managed to divorce her husband. However, her cousin, who harbored resentment over her decision to leave the marriage, chose to take her life in a violent act, purportedly driven by notions of family honor. This devastating incident highlights the severe and often deadly consequences of honor-based violence, particularly affecting young women in vulnerable situations.